What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a little Jays talk. We're going to be recapping the 5-3 victory of the Toronto Blue Jays over the Washington Nationals as the Blue Jays moved to 4-2 on the year. I jumped into the game in the bottom of the sixth inning because I was at my son's first night of T-ball. So, yeah, pretty exciting night in our household. Let's get into it. First inning was scoreless. It was a quick inning. Both pitchers looking good, it appears. And then Berríos had it 6 up, 6 down through the top of the second. And in the bottom of the second is when the Jays broke through to open the scoring. So Andrés Giménez singled to right. What else is new? Kirky reaches on an infield single to shortstop. I should go back and watch that one because I can't imagine Kirk getting on an infield single. George Springer comes up, singles to left, scores Giménez and moves Kirky to second. So it's 1-0 Blue Jays off the bat of George Springer again. How good has this guy been this year, man? It's been amazing. It's been something none of us have expected. Wagner then reaches on a bunt single to third. Springer moves up to second, Kirky to third. So you've got bases loaded. Clement comes in, grounds into a fielder's choice to the shortstop. Kirky's able to score. Wagner's out at second. Springer to third. So now you've got first and third with one out. Roden reaches on an infield single to shortstop. Springer scores. Clement moves to second. So a lot of infield stuff going on here. And then you've got your horses coming up. Bo Bichette comes up and strikes out swinging. Behind him, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. strikes out swinging. So not what you want to see from your horses, but it is 3-0 Blue Jays through the second. Berríos still dialed in, 3 up, 3 down. He's now 9 up, 9 down. And Williams settles down and keeps the scoring in check. So, just looking through here, the starters cruised until the top of the sixth. That's where we'll pick up again. Call singles to left for the Nationals off Jose Berríos. Young grounds into a fielder's choice. Call out at second. Abrams singles to center. Young moves on to third. And then Wood strikes out swinging while Abrams steals second. And Keibert Ruiz singles to right, scoring Young and Abrams. So I mentioned in the preview of the series that Keibert Ruiz had the, in a very, very small sample size of one series, he did have the best offensive numbers for the Nationals. He had a couple home runs and a few RBIs. So he added to that total there with 2 more RBIs and making the game 3-2. Yariel Rodriguez comes in for Berríos, and this is again the top of the sixth inning. He walks Josh Bell as his first batter, so not really what you want to see, walking the bases loaded, and then gets Garcia Jr. to fly out to center to get out of it. So, yeah, they avoid further damage, and it is now a 3-2 game. Bottom of the sixth, which is where I picked up watching, Springer gets in for a walk, Wagner grounds out to the shortstop, Springer moves up to second, and then they're basically shut down after that. Clement struck out, Roden gets hit by a pitch, Bichette strikes out. So again, not a great night for Bichette at this point, and Vladdy Guerrero Jr. either. Yariel comes out for the top of the seventh, gets a strikeout of DeYoung. Call doubles to right, and Young grounds out to second base, but Call is able to move over to third at the time. I was listening along in the live chat with the Blue Jays today, guys, and Mason Fluharty gets brought in here against a lefty. And for those of you that don't know, it was Mason Fluharty's major league debut, but he's a very dominant lefty-on-lefty pitcher, so there was a lot of people commenting in that chat saying that it was maybe a bad idea, John Schneider should be fired and all that stuff. The normal overreacting stuff. Some of it's probably tongue-in-cheek, and some of it's probably serious. But I was completely all right with this move. Fluharty, if you're ever going to bring him into a game for his first appearance, it's the seventh inning. It's against C.J. Abrams, who's good, but he's not Aaron Judge, you know what I mean? It's not a lefty-on-righty matchup. He's not a masher. He's a good hitter, but it's lefty-lefty, and this is what Fluharty's good at. Anyways, he goes on to let up a double down the line. He gets 2 strikes on him and leaves a slider that just got a little bit too much of the zone, and Abrams was able to turn on it and rip it into right field, and Call scores. So ties up the game, but then he turns around and gets Wood, another lefty right after, gets him to strike out, so he gets out of it. All in all, 3-3 through the top of the seventh. That's really all you can ask for. Bullpens are going to let up runs. It's not the end of the world every single time. You know, they're not going to pitch to 0 ERAs. So he turned around, got out of it. He let up 1 hit. Not a big deal to me at all. And to be honest, I liked the move. Lefty on lefty, why not go to it? Why have the lefties there if you're not going to use them? So Ferrer comes in pitching for Washington, and this guy was throwing like 98-mile-an-hour sinkers. He has quite an arm from the left-hand side, and Guerrero Jr. was able to work a walk after not looking very good at the first couple pitches, and followed up by Santander striking out swinging, Giménez grounding into a fielder's choice, and then Kirky flied out. So they were unable to do anything with the inning starting walk. That was a little bit unfortunate because you want to get the lead in that situation. But you know what? It is what it is. We move forward. Top of 8, Fluharty's back out again. Weren't sure if he was going to come out for the next inning. I won't call it like his second inning because he only did get the couple batters in the first, then the 7th that he pitched. But he gets Ruiz to ground out, and then he strikes out Nathaniel Lowe. So he looked really good against Lowe. He had some nice sliders mixed in there, and he made him look off balance, and it was a good showing all in all on his part. Very happy to see how Fluharty looked. He was very competitive, and it looks like we've got a really solid guy for the bullpen there. Chad Green spells him and strikes out Josh Bell. So again, another nice little piece of managing there by John Schneider, in my opinion. Bottom of 8th is where the Blue Jays are able to pull through. Springer leads off with a single to right because of course he did. He's been, like I say, he's been lights out to start the year. Wagner then tries to sacrifice him and he bunts it right back to the pitcher and the pitcher bobbles it. So everyone is safe. And this is where you're going, okay, first and second no out, we've got to push through here. And we did. Clement then sacrifices to third base, getting Wagner to move up and Springer to move up to second and third. Davis Schneider comes in to hit for Alan Roden, strikes out, looks terrible. If Davis Schneider can't look better than that against left-handed pitching when he comes in as a pinch hitter, he doesn't have a function on the team. I like Davis Schneider. I want him to get more leash, and I want him to have a role in this team. But those are the positions that he's on the team for, and to not even have a competitive at-bat, to just get blown away by a left-handed reliever, it just wasn't a good look because, like I say, that is a role that we will need him to fill this year if he's going to remain on the roster. Otherwise, an Aurelvis Martinez or somebody like that will end up coming up and taking that spot. Bo Bichette, though. So now you're at 2 outs with 2 on. Bo Bichette gets 2 strikes on him right away, and you're going, no way. This guy's going to get out of this jam, isn't he? And Bo Bichette laces one right down the first baseline. It was past a diving Nathaniel Lowe and ultimately leads to 2 runs scoring. It wasn't the hardest ball that he's ever hit, but it was good enough and it got through, and that's the way baseball works. It's a 5-3 lead for the Blue Jays, and we are cruising. We're feeling really good with ourselves at this point. They do a pitch and change, bring in Lucas Sims. Guerrero Jr. grounds into a fielder's choice to the shortstop. Not what you want to see from Guerrero Jr. in this game at all, like in any way. He struck out a lot. He didn't really contribute much to winning on the offensive side of things. But anyways, Jeff Hoffman comes in for the close, and my oh my, how different is he from Jordan Romano? I'm not saying Jordan Romano was a bad closer. The stats speak for themselves. He was a very dominant closer for most years for us. But boy, did he get your heart racing. In the first 2 close, like in the saving opportunities here for Jeff Hoffman, it has been resting heart rate. It has been here. It was line out, struck out, popped out to first base. There was no threat. The liner to right was the only hard hit ball, and it was luckily kind of right at George Springer. But other than that, there's just, he's cool as can be. There's no worries. I know he will blow a save at some point in time here. He's not going to be perfect, but the first 2 have been a very nice showing from Jeff Hoffman. So yeah, all in all, really good stuff from the Blue Jays to move to 4-2. We're now 2 games above 500. We've got the game tomorrow where they're saying Easton Lucas is going to pitch. I don't know why they're wanting to rest Kevin Gausman and give him the day off. He's going to end up having, he's going to have 2 more days of rest than what he had before. So I don't know if he's dealing with something or what the issue is for that. But yeah, they're going to give the ball to Easton Lucas, it sounds like. And the bullpen is going to have to be ready because he could do anything. He could come up and be fantastic. My guess would be they're going to try and get him to pitch through 4 or 5 innings. I don't imagine he'll be all that stretched out. He hasn't had a long outing yet this year. So either way, he's going to be piggybacking with some bullpen pieces early on. And it's going to be a test, especially against Mackenzie Gore. So yeah, that's where I'll leave you off for this game. 5-3 Blue Jays win, 4-2 on the season. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you see anything that I didn't in those first few innings that you want to mention? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.